Good morning and welcome to day 7 of SICSS-Howard Mathematica. During this second week, our teams of students and faculty and postdocs are spending time in research teams and working on newly constructed projects. So a few reminders, and I'm going to give you our question of the day before I launch into my reminders of how amazing you all are, and to hold yourselves and to appreciate yourselves and to support yourselves during this process. It's daunting as well as fun. So the question for the day is, what superpower do you have already? I know you have a superpower, or what superpower would you want? And let's also put humble brags in there. So please start dropping those in the chat box. Let's see the chat box blowing up with your beautiful superpowers, and also superpowers that you would like to have, and humble brag for us too. So a few reminders: be who you are, and as you are enough. What you have to give and the questions you bring to the table are enough. Take care of your biological, technological, psychological, spiritual, all of your needs as they come up. Please eat. As I mentioned, you'll see me nibbling here on camera and drinking water and such. And as coffee appears, my spouse occasionally drops things off. As coffee appears, please have coffee. Do whatever you need to take care of you, especially in the spaces the next few days that are a little bit squishier, a little less structured. Make sure you're making time for those breaks as you need them. Everyone is a student here, no matter what your title, whether you have a business card that says professor on it, or dean, or vice president, or anything else. You are a student. Feel free to lean into that. Fall back if you need to into a learning stance, or step forward when you feel that you have an expertise. Set your personal intention for the day. Start thinking about what your personal intention is for this institute. It's not a bad thing to reset that goal. Revisit your goals early and often. Is there something specific you wanted to learn? Have you done that? Have you started doing that? Is there something you wanted to master, or did you want to just drink from the fire hose that is SICSS? What are your intentions for this week? We're in an important pivot point today. We're moving into research projects, both group and personal. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Make sure you're, asking questions confidently to get the things that you need. We appreciate leadership in this space. There are some amazing, beautiful, brilliant leaders in this group, and please let us know what we can do to help you. Okay, so I am going to end with a few quotes today, a few quotes to send you on your way. So please make sure I do that before we finish up. But we're gonna to reach to May and Langston and Layla and Misty and Ava and Shonda and also little Mindy to send you on your way, because I know not one quote speaks to everyone. So I've got a pile of quotes here. So we'll end with 7 amazing quotes to send you into your work today. A few announcements. So reminder to shoot your 90 seconds of fame. So Ava is super excited about doing that. We're going to post our first one from Akira today, and we'll start posting on social very soon. So please make sure you schedule your 90 seconds of fame. You'll probably hear from her. She'll DM you today, and also probably send something out on the email list to try and get folks to schedule. Also a reminder, let's drop this in the chat box, to sign up to do live Q&A with our speakers in office hours. I think we only have one person signed up for Q&A today with Chris Wheat. So Chris is fantastic. He was a PhD student, I believe, at Harvard in organizational behavior, background in sociology, was a professor at MIT before moving on to be one of the co-presidents of an amazing institute that's doing great work for Black people especially. So he's going to be a fun person to talk to. He gave a presentation on how to make a great chart, and it is not about that at all. So if you haven't had a chance to take a look, please do. We'll also take questions from the field. And as you noticed with yesterday, questions can take on the tenor of being about the presentation or just about how people got to where they are. So there's no stress, no pressure here. I think you hopefully saw that yesterday. I also want to encourage you to sign up for office hours with Chris. So some people attended yesterday. If you're on the fence about whether to do it, maybe ask Janera, Marissa, Todd, Jeremy, Yesh, Benjamin, or Regis about what that was like. I imagine that they will have great things to say about being in that space yesterday with Ruha. And I can tell you, Chris is just an affable and wonderful person. So if you're on the fence, just put yourself in the room. You never know what's going to happen. It was one of the most some of the most important parts of my SICSS experience were in these small group and individual office hours. Just the friends that I made, the research contacts, the inspiration that I got in moments when I wasn't quite sure that I was supposed to be in the room from those speakers was just amazing. Super low pressure. Someone wrote, great to network. You know, at the very least, drop in and say, hi, you were great, and get their business card or their information, right? Okay, so for Jeff Mackey Mason this afternoon, for our lunchtime talk, thank you to our Q&A leads, Maxine, Meredith, and Yesh. So please feel free to add your names to that. Also, Jeff is a pretty amazing person. In addition to being the head librarian at Berkeley, I think he has a PhD in economics from MIT, has worked in policy and at a policy school and an information school, and is also deeply connected in the arts too. I believe he's a classically trained musician too, in addition to all his other, he's just a nice guy. So he'll be fun to ask questions of later. And if you've watched the video, you know, I think he offered up some homework. So whoever watched the video, you may turn it to 1.75 and get to the homework part and see what he asked. You know, he said something about, I have some homework for you all. So make sure you take a look at that. Okay, so I want to remind you all, if you have not seen the SICSS Festival, or I guess I can introduce it to you, the SICSS Festival is happening this week also. So not every site has funding in order to allow groups to create research projects. So some folks fold after the first week. So the SICSS Festival was created so that alums like myself, and you will be an alum very soon, can produce videos and events that further the community. So I did a one-on-one interview with Matt last year on diversity and computational social science, and there are a lot of also other great things that are happening this year. So we're going to drop the link in the chat box. Those things are complementary to what we do. We encourage you to go, much like our events. Sometimes things will be taped and sometimes they won't. Just because they're taped doesn't mean they will end up on the website. So those of you who were in the room where it happened with April Chang from the California Policy Lab were there for a very important moment, because that video is not being posted. So if you were there, you were there. If you were not, you missed out. So so I would say if there's something that really grabs you, don't assume it will be posted publicly. You know, that is not always the case. People's employers have different feelings about these things. So, and sometimes if things are very of the moment and may change quickly, that information may not be posted. Okay. So I would also like to call out in particular one event that I think you should all think about attending. It changed my life when I attended it a couple of years ago. So Chris Vail is doing a session on Thursday from 10:30 to 11. Which makes it something you can skip over to after our morning debrief. You can hop on over and learn about how to organize a Summer Institute Computational Social Science at your university or organization in 2022 or beyond. So that's going to be on Thursday. He'll be hosting a brief Q&A about how you can apply to create your own event. Okay, so that's going to be held in Gather. So please hop on over to the SICSS Festival info site. And figure out whether you might want to go to that or something else, and start populating your calendar. And obviously, once you've figured out whether you want to join a team, whether you're working on your own this week, you know, you may want to connect with your team members about your intentions for attending things. Again, not everything will be taped, so maybe that shows my age. Not everything will be recorded, so you know, you may want to head on over and check that out. Okay. So we're going to, so if you haven't noticed on the calendar, we no longer have evening debriefs. So all announcements about things that have changed or are changing during the day will end up on Slack and via email. So we have had some changes to the way that the week unfolds, which I'll go over in a second. But one thing I want to mention is that you're about to get a whole lot of information about applying for SICSS research grants. So from both our site, there is site-specific funding just for you all at SICSS-Howard Mathematica at our site. And then there's also larger SICSS funding you can apply for if you're from any site. So everyone can compete from any site, all 23 sites plus the main site, for funding from SICSS Central or SICSS Umbrella, excuse me, also. So you'll get an email from us about that later. And also we'll post on Slack, because not everyone will be here for our lunchtime or for our evening, and we want to make sure that everyone gets that information. So keep an eye out for that. So quick retrospective, let's go ahead and screen share our keep, start, stop slides. And I will go over those. Thank you much. Amber. Always an MVP of the team here. We have lots of MVPs. So for keep, we've got Keep On Keeping On. Thank you. Don't remember what song that's from, but I do love the music references. People love the group work. People thought today was great. I realized I had not met everyone and the vibes. I'm so glad that you all enjoyed the chance to spend time with each other. We wanted to make sure that you did not leave SICSS without having connected with and met everyone, which even in a space where we're all together in one place can be hard. So we appreciate your tolerance or appreciation of our little experiment, which is different from what the main site does, because we wanted people to connect. Okay, so let's head to our start slide. People love the independent work time. About to get a whole lot of that, basically every day for the next few days. And people unsure about what to start, well, think about it, whoever was unsure, and let us know. We love to hear your thoughts. Stop, unsure, same thing. If there's stuff you want us to stop, let us know. We love to get feedback. Okay, so our anything else slide. Great start of the week. Thank you very much. I like the option of 2 tracks. Great. We're about to tell you more about that. If we want to attend something, some of the other presentations as part of the SICSS Festival, can we? Yes, you can. And will there be recordings available for those presentations? Maybe. Not sure. Depends. If you really want to be in the room, make sure you're there. And please note, and I'll say this again, that things are sometimes taped or not taped for very particular reasons. Sometimes our speakers are talking about things, I remember this with my site, which can cause them problems sometimes back in their home country, or if their research concerns their home country and it's not, in the of the opinion of the government as being positive. That was one that was not taped during my session, or people share personal things. So please honor our speakers and honor the sanctity of our space by not taping or recording anything without permission. Research speed dating, specific feedback. The format was nice, rushed, but I can't imagine another format. Yeah, it was, we were moving fast and breaking things there. We were trying something new. So we got a bit overwhelming. Does not surprise me. It was overwhelming for us also to run that. It may have been helpful to know in advance that we were ultimately going to pitch one idea. Yes, and we will take that to heart for modifications on this next time. Thank you. It does not surprise me that people were both excited and overwhelmed. Great, but would have been useful to have more structure beforehand. Example, explaining that people be able to propose one idea beforehand or spend 5 to 10 minutes writing description beforehand. Agreed. Thank you so much for the feedback, and that's definitely something that will find its way into our postmortem as we think about what to do with this next year. Thank you very much. All right, so try to keep on time, but it can be a struggle. We started a little bit late this morning. I apologize for that. Looking ahead, let's review the schedule really quickly. And then we'll jump into some modified directions for your time and making sure everyone has done what they needed to do to make a decision about what next. So the schedule for today, and I'm on my own screen, so I'm going to forward down. Great. So Tuesday, our schedule is going to look very similar the next few days. So you will get a notification very soon. We'll tell you about that in the next few minutes about Mathematica TAs who are available to consult on your projects. I would recommend that you contact them early and often. You may want to build a relationship with 1 or 2 people and meet with them throughout the week, as opposed to waiting till Thursday or Friday when everyone's going to need help, right? So I would recommend, if you think you might need someone's help, start talking to them and get their sort of support in helping you with your ideas. So 10 to 10:15, maybe a little bit longer logistics this morning. We may adjust this time bracket for tomorrow. 10:15 to 12, work on group projects. Make sure you're taking breaks in there. 12 to 1, bite-sized lunchtime talk. The University of California's publisher negotiation team. That will be 12 to 1. 1 to 4, again, work on group projects. Please, again, take breaks in there as needed. There's also lots of stuff going on with the SICSS Festival today, so there is time, and you'll notice at the top of our, the title for our day is work on group projects and participate in SICSS Festival, so decide which you want to go to. And then we'll finish the day off with 4 to 5:30 discussion with Chris Wheat from JP Morgan Chase Institute. He is the co-president. We'll do a live Q&A with him, and we can't wait to see you all. He has a very interesting vantage point. And if you're thinking about great people to collaborate with, the JP Morgan Chase Institute ain't a bad one. And they're doing, he's worked in fintech also, so a fun person to talk to. All right, so that covers looking ahead. I believe Bahia is with us this morning to provide a little bit of inspiration. I believe she is with us. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and add a spotlight, and she is going to give us some inspiration before I go over our activities for the day.
Greetings, everyone. I hope you all are well. As I'm looking down at the number of participants, I'm excited that many of you are still with us, still engaged, still excited. I'm tuning in from New York. I'm so happy to be with you all this morning. I had an opportunity to do a commencement speech for a high school on the Academy of Conservation and the Environment. These are high school students that are moving into environmental justice. And I was reminded by them of the importance of talking your way through, talking yourself through certain opportunities and professional development, so to speak. The individual from the school who spoke talked about how oftentimes we, again, underestimate ourselves. You know that you all are constantly being reminded of imposter syndrome, but I think this goes a little bit further. And I would say to you all, spend some time when you have a break or even at the end of the day, reading over your notes. Just reading over them. Oftentimes we go to professional development opportunities for a week, 2 weeks, sometimes even a month time, and we don't use the reading and analyzing what it is that we're writing until we actually feel we need it. But if you are reading back through your notes in real time, it'll give you an opportunity to be reminded of what the student reminded us all of, is that when you talk through certain infant structures, it helps you understand how much of an expert you are, right? Oftentimes when we think we don't understand something, it's not until we have to explain it to somebody else that we're just like, wait, oh crap, wait a minute, I may know these things. And so in this specific space, I think step one, reading back through your notes just to kind of measure out your day and kind of scale back, see what is important to you, what you're writing about. As you're thinking about leaning into the Mathematica experts, please make sure that you're reaching out to those consultants that will help on projects, even if you don't think you need it. Why? Because it gives you the opportunity to have somebody to talk through things, and an expert at that, which can help you be reminded of the ways in which you may be understanding one component of a larger frame. And so you may see macro pieces you may see micro pieces of the macro, but again, as a team, it gives you an opportunity to excel. As you all are working in your teams and in your group, allow for individuals to know where you are an expert and what you understand. Make sure that that shines through, right? Like, so when you all are in those sessions and working in these small groups, identify your area and your strength and stick with it throughout. So individuals know that they could lean to you and say, wait a minute, this is confusing. How about this? That's how you start to shine through with your area of expertise. And as we are transitioning into this second part, it's going to give you all an opportunity to work as a team, to understand as a team. Last piece that I would say is please consider the grant opportunities. Today, you all will have an opportunity for open access publications. Many individuals don't understand that you could use that on the tenure track. It satisfies it. Now that we're dealing with COVID-19, of course, being able to publish in open access when you're filling out your tenure applications for those that are new on the tenure track, or even those that are in their postdoc kind of level, it gives you an opportunity to speak to the time. It makes you actually look good because now you're publishing as it relates to the COVID-19 pandemic and individuals needing immediate access to resources. So there's just a lot of little treats that are thrown in. Please, you all, hang on. Hang on. If you feel like the individual that's treading in the water, now is the time to sit and just do a back float. Right? Listen and use your eyes, take in as much as you can. When you get your energy back, you'll get back to swimming. But again, keep your head over water. I look forward to seeing you all again later on this week. Best of luck, and do be reminded that you are here for a reason, and every day you're getting what it is that you need. Remind yourself by going back and reading your notes. Peace and blessings, guys. Enjoy your day.
Thank you so much, the ever inspirational Dr. Bahia Muhammad. Reminder, you all have her book. Ruha referenced it yesterday also. I believe I did also. find an excuse to get yourself to Howard and get that signed. She is a beautiful, beautiful human being and a wonderful person to have in your network. Make sure you connect with her. All right, so we have a few modifications to the plan that I want to go over, and I apologize for us this dragging out a little bit longer than we expected, but some modifications yesterday require conversation. So let's go ahead and screen share if we have not already for the exercise that we initiated you into yesterday. So we'll start with the Let's Begin slide. Fantastic. All right, so some changes from yesterday and clarification, because I know some folks were confused. So we want to give you the time you need today in order to make decisions about what you want to be doing. So yesterday, we started out by having you list out your research interests and project ideas, and then we asked people to go through, add their names to that sheet, and we're going to drop a link to this in the chat box, also to the entire PowerPoint. To have people go through, add their name and email address, and a 1 next to the projects that they're interested in. And again, this can be useful for today's purposes, but also 10 years from now purposes. If you're working on a project, you're like, I remember somebody else was interested in that. You have a list of people interested in have similar research interests to you. Okay, let's head to the next slide. After you did that, you spent time in conversation. We sent you around to rooms to talk to each other yesterday. We did 2 rounds of this. This is the first round. Let's go to the next slide. After that, the expectation is that you would go to this Google Doc and take 5 minutes and write up your favorite group project idea, just one. So I see some of you did that. I'm not sure everyone did, but we want to give everyone a chance to do that, to take 5 minutes and add your top choice. And then also we ask you to put your name next to projects that sounded interesting and you're interested in. And some folks, and this was very thoughtful, wrote their name and still considering options but interested. So what we want you to do is make a final decision about where you want to spend your time the next week. So this exercise is set up, and the main site and SICSS's intentions with this is to seed and grow group projects. But we mentioned we're allowing for a second track at our site. SICSS-Howard Mathematica is doing things a little different, and we want to allow a second track. So while we would love for you to focus your time and attention on group projects, if there is a solo project or a skill set that you would like to focus your attention on for the rest of the week, that is okay too. So what we want you to do on this sheet is to make us aware of your intention. So add your top choice. Add your top choice, the project you're interested in, the project that's most exciting to you. Take 5 minutes and do that. We would welcome people to put their names on the one that they're interested in, but be very clear about how you intend to spend your time. So if you're not sure, you want to dip in, you're still weighing, totally fine to do that. If you are sure that you would like to spend your time working on something by yourself, that is okay too. I did not have that option at the main site, and I think I would have thrived with that opportunity, so we want to give you that opportunity. So also on that sheet, if your intention is to do something on your own for some reason, work on R, work on Stata, learn how to scrape Twitter, legally, obviously legally, Reddit. If you want to learn how to do experiments, you want to go take a look at the day 6 videos that we're not covering at our site and figure out if you might want to do some sort of experiment, learn how to use MTurk. All of those things are possible too. We would love to see peer-reviewed publications and open source resources come out of this site, but I also would love to hear that someone who is afraid of R has mastered R, or at least feels comfortable enough to say, I know R, if not mastery. So what we want you to do is take some time and go ahead on that sheet today and figure out what you want to do. And if it's individual, we've got a ton of rooms set up. You can have your own room to sit in a room and watch videos today. You can also do that at home without us, right? We've got a ton of rooms set up so you can meet with groups and talk through these ideas and start working on a project. We've got a ton of rooms if you want to ask one of the TAs to come join you and help you work on something. So there are all sorts of opportunities. So we just dropped the TA availability in the chat box. That will be continue to be updated by them over the course of the week. So some of them have listed times, some of them have just said, hey, send me an email. So their emails are there. Email them, set up a time, have them join us in Zoom between the hours that we're here. Or join you in Zoom, or if you still use Skype, hey Skype, or email, whatever you want. So we're use leadership and connect with them for what you need. Please know that these are working professionals, so they are giving us their time and may not be able to meet within time periods that are ideal for you. So just remember that they are doing this in between other things that they do for Mathematica. So again, let's take that sheet, okay? You want to take that sheet that has that's on our slide right here, and you want to write up things that you're interested in working on and let us know your final intention. So if you added something and ultimately you're like, you know what, I don't have time to do this, I want to join this other team, you can cross that out or gray it out. So what we want on that list at the end of the day is the final list of teams. So we'd love to keep all the ideas there, but make it very clear. So maybe once you've decided what you're doing, let's have you make your name red. So if somebody's name is not red on something, it probably means that they have a foot in more than one world. So let's add directions to that to the top of the page first, please, Amanda. So by the end of the day, we want you to continue working with each other and make decisions about what you want to do. Make your intentions known on that sheet. So any ideas that you have that are still in the works, that you're still looking to talk to people about, you can add there. If you at the end of the day decide you're going to join another team and not do that, gray that out, cross it out, and make your name red the place that you want to be. So we're looking for 24 red names at the end of the day. 24 red names on that sheet. So we know what your intentions are. And if your intentions again are individual, totally fine, let us know. And we're going to follow up with everybody, and we'll send out a note that includes our final teams and intentions by the end of the day. We want to give you time and space to do that, and then we'll spend the rest of the week in those groups and working on those and trying to support you in that work. So let's head to the next slide. So the timeline for this week has changed a little bit. So we talked about briefs. So the main site decided it wasn't enough time for that, so they encouraged us all to drop the brief. So there are no briefs. These are not the briefs that you're looking for. Star Wars reference. There are no briefs. So the only thing you need to do is figure out what you want to do in that one document and make your intentions known and start working on your group or individual projects. That's it. And as you know, our funding source right now is for group projects. So if you opt to do something individually, just know that at this time, things can change, right? Knock on wood, things can change. That's me saying I'm trying to negotiate something. Like, who knows? Priority for group projects from the main site. There's lots and lots and lots of funding from Umbrella for group projects. We also have specialized funding for our site for group projects. So that is the modus operandi right now, okay? So that's today. If you have seed funding requests that pop up for smaller things, you can come talk to me. I'll be here all day hanging out. You can also write me on Slack or email. Those will be potentially available on a rolling basis as needed if things pop up. Tuesday through Thursday night, work on group projects, and then Friday we'll have you give group presentations and get feedback. Let's head to the next slide. So again, no briefs. Don't worry about that. Don't have to do it. That little 5-minute thing answering those questions on our shared sheet is enough. Okay, next slide. Funding, stay tuned. Since we don't have a debrief today, we will write you later today with details of funding. So I want to give you the most updated information, but just know if you have needs for small grants to advance something, just come find me. Next slide. This is our expectation for deliverables for teams. So you're expected to give a presentation, a group project that is between 10 to 20 minutes that explains the following things. We are working on a plan for a presentation probably closer to the 2 or 3 minute mark if you do something individual. If you are not part of a team and do something individual, we're working on that, so stay tuned. But this is the plan right now for group projects. And we have a special guest again on Friday for that. Next slide. All right, that's it. So let me share just a bit more information. We'll send you off on your way. So today is all about deciding and setting your intentions. You've now talked to each other, continue those conversations. We're going to open up the rooms right now for you. So we have got a ton of breakout rooms set up today. So we've got breakout rooms 1 through 14 set up. So please feel free to connect with each other on Slack and meet up in rooms. If you are here and appear in the waiting room, we will keep you in the room so you can move around and talk to each other. Okay? Please think about 90 seconds of fame if you haven't done that already. And we are here all day for questions. So make sure you take advantage of that. Again, I apologize for this going a little bit longer, but sometimes when you move fast and break things, the process breaks. Thank you, SICSS Umbrella, and you have to change things on the fly. So thank you for that. And we'll try to do better going forward or adjust the schedule. Have a wonderful day figuring out your personal and group intentions, and we're here if you need us. As promised, to send you on your way and to your work with a bit of inspiration, we'll draw from Layla, Shonda, Ava, Misty, Mindy, Langston, and May. So Layla Ali says the following: whoever you look up to or put on a pedestal, know that they have fears too. They just learned how to push past it. Shonda Rhimes says, my father used to say to me, the only limit to your success is your own imagination. I actually believe that. Like, I'm still coming to terms with the fact that I might not be an Olympic figure skater. I'm sure there are barriers. I've just chosen not to acknowledge them. Ava DuVernay, when you're in your own lane, there's no traffic. Misty Copeland, be strong, be fearless, be beautiful, and believe that anything is possible when you have the right people there to support you. Really important today as we head into groups. Mindy Kaling, this is a favorite of mine. Sometimes you just have to put on lip gloss and pretend to be psyched. That is definitely working for me today. Langston Hughes, the only way to get a thing done is to start to do it, then keep on doing it, and finally you'll finish it. And we'll end with Mae Jemison, who reached the stars. If you have a goal that is very, very far out and you approach it in little steps, you start to get there faster. Head off to your groups of your own making or to your own individual rooms, and we look forward to seeing what intentions you decide on. Thank you all for watching. For more information on SICSS-Howard Mathematica, visit our website, follow us on social media, and join our email list.